This was the first project I started in Unity about 6 months ago, and after neglecting it now for a couple of months, I wanted to go back and see how I could improve it and hopefully turn it into a much better game than it was previously. The idea is that you're a shield maiden running through Anglo-Saxon lands, trying to stay alive for as long as possible, with a score at the top left showing you just how far you've gotten. The title I came up with for this game is Shield Maidens, and I did at the time have an idea that I wanted to make it a couch co-op. I was probably overestimating myself then, but now I do think it's doable. There's just a lot of work that needs to be done before even starting to implement that multiplayer. For the lighting, I clearly wanted some atmosphere, but instead it just seems to put a strain on my eyes. I thought it would be cooler to give the player a torch and run with the original atmospheric idea, however it just made the world look a bit random, like it was filled with too many lights, plus trying to follow your shield once you throw it becomes near impossible. Instead, I decided to scrap this idea even after this absolute work of art fire that I drew up, and save the special lighting feature for magic or something else in the future, although I have still kept it on the fire arrows for now. For the combat, the shield felt too much like a boomerang, and that it was being thrown too lightly, and even though the enemy bounces back, the impact still wasn't there for me. I put a cooldown for when the shield returns to exaggerate the collision, but that then caused the shield to polymorph into a landmine. Making its bounciness 5 times its original value seemed to do the trick, and the nice thing now is that it looks like there's more impact and you can't spam the throw button as easily as before. Well, as easily. When playing with a pad, once you let go of the analog stick, you lose the protection of your shield from whatever angle you had it facing. So rather than sheathing your shield on your back, it will keep the last position you faced it and even return to that once you pick it back up after throwing. Some other things I noticed about the gameplay. Climbing boxes was a little bit fiddly. This is because I've added an auto climb response if the player hits a roof edge of a building. Consequentially, it now looks like I'm skipping through the air. The platform effector for one-way collision sorted this, so you can now run through these objects and jump on top without your character going into autopilot. The score is too ambiguous. When watching someone play my game, they decided to kill every enemy they stumbled across rather than trying to get the maximum distance from the starting line. So rather than calculate the distance from the starting line, I've decided to go for a simple kill count, which, you've guessed it, goes up for every kill that you get. As for the camera, some feedback I got was that the arrows come out of nowhere, and I think that was due to being either too zoomed in or having the character center stage. So it made sense to move the camera position more over to the right, leaving the player on the left so that they can see what's further ahead of them. What's next for this game? Well, for the next iteration of this game, I think I'd like to make advancing through the map a little harder, such as hiding keys to get to the next area, or I've even had an idea of a drawbridge that needs bringing down. This would slow players from skimming through the map and give you more to think about. A co-op mode could even have areas that you need to cooperate in order to pass. Right now it is randomly generated and I wanted to keep it that way. Maybe I'll add some more levels on top of how many are currently there. Secondly, I want to see some fancy magic to make this feel more like a fantasy game. So maybe adding a new enemy like a mage or a wizard shooting fireballs that knock you back even if you have your shield up, although I may need to redraw that incredibly amazing fire animation. Finally, that's all I have to show so far. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment with any ideas or suggestions you have. I'm going to continue working on this game and sharing my progress. This was pretty much just an introduction to the project, so expect a lot more.